Om Shanti. A very warm good evening, and hope it's not too hot. Yes. Did you like that song at the end? Wasn't that touching? You know, the story goes, Lucinda, if you ever want to hear some really good music, the singer's name is Lucinda Drayton. The group is called Bliss. And many, many, many years ago, she came to our centers, she and her husband, and they were heavy metal rock and roll players. Do you know those? And then after they took the course, she started to think that perhaps her music wasn't evolving people. And after a while, she and her husband just went within themselves and asked themselves, what is it that they wanted to contribute to the world? And they knew it was going to be music. Her husband is an exceptional pianist. Incredible. He's actually the brains in the group. And they started to come out with stuff like this. And I'm not saying that heavy metal, rock and roll music maybe doesn't give you some thrills, but this touches heart and soul. And what they're offering to us is, actually I think that their transformation and their relationship with themselves and with each other created that kind of a beautiful music. And that's just incredible. And that's why we're here tonight. So a good evening. Aloha, because we just got back from Hawaii. And we're kind of wondering, why are we here? I mean, why in the world would my destiny have me there only 10 days? And wake up every morning with fresh air and ocean breeze, and everyone there is so aloha, you know, everyone's just aloha, like everything is okay. And I go, wow, how easy is this? And in a radio interview I was doing, I was telling the host I couldn't live here. He goes, why? You'd be perfect for Kauai. I God, get so lazy, don't even ask. Because everything is there that, to me, I'm like, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to enjoy. And I was telling them that I could see why I'm in DC, because I'm needed there. You don't need me here. That's aloha. I have to bring some aloha to Washington so that we can enjoy ourselves. So a very warm good evening. And this is my second public talk since I've been back on Saturday night. And I'm having some jet lag. So I'm sorry if I'm not going to be able to give you 200% tonight, but I hope you'll be able to embrace me and perhaps give me some of your Eastern vibrations and just be with me on this evening. I'm sharing the stage tonight with Sister Gita. And today's topic is about the Karmic Law of Relationship. And I'd just like to set the tone for us tonight and ask you first, how are you feeling? Good? Everything's okay? I know you're good. Do you think life could be better? Or is it perfect? Okay, and what if I were to tell you that we were born balanced with everything? We were born balanced, we were born with everything, and along the way, the soul started to experience life, stuff, things. And the soul started to perhaps define or say to the self that this is this, that's not it, or this is enough, or I want more, or I don't want more of that anymore, or I want this or that. And I started to say, this is what I want, don't want this, and totally not coming from a formula of balance, but more coming from a formula of what I think I deserve, which is this ultimate thing. I'm just going to set the context. I think I deserve the ultimate. And what is your ultimate? I want you to hold that idea in you. One, you're born balanced. You've got everything in you. And then after going through what we call life or stuff, we started to define, this is what I want, this is what I want, I don't deserve any more of this, I deserve more of this. These are my people, my tribe, that's not my tribe. And I started to define what I think was for me and what wasn't for me. And I'm at the state that I'm at today. Would I be able to tell myself that I still feel balanced in the way that I'm conceiving that I think I was born, completely balanced? Hold that and just think about that for yourself. Am I complete inside? Have I got what they call the yin and the yang going? Am I internal as much as I'm external? Am I loving as I am lawful? Am I giving as much as I take? Am I able to let go as much as I'm able to hold on? Is it balanced for you? I'm going to ask you to hold that as your homework. It's so easy, no? You see, coming to the meditation museum is stress-free. Because we don't give you much to do here, you know? Except think. And we were looking at some images today on the website, and it's been like 3.5 years now. And I did some research on all the museums in DC, and none of them have as many events as we do. And we're the meditation one. So I think what it shows is that when there's always extra energy or space in you, you can give more. When I'm overwhelmed by too much, then I give less. And also because it's free. But it's very interesting. Whenever you walk into the space, we not only ask you for your good wishes, but we also ask you to feel the energy of the space and see if you think it's important to you to have a space like this available for you. So hold what I kind of threw out there for you. You're born with balance, right? You knew what happened. You define yourself, take little, take. How much are you giving, how much are you taking, and all that. Just check. Okay. Sister Gita, I want you to share a little bit. Sister Gita has been a Raj Yogi teacher for the Brahma Kumaris for almost 30 years. And she's a cancer survivor. And she is a nutritionist. She is one of the most graceful dancers you'll ever meet. And she thinks she can sing, so please don't sing. But when it comes on to somebody emanating love, very few people have that presence. And when we were in Kauai and we were sitting around the table of lots of folks, and we were all giving each other good wishes and blessings, and overwhelmingly, the blessing that Sister Gita got from everyone, please leave your love here. You are the one that is an ocean of love. Your love is like that of a mother. You allow our love to melt our stuff, and it just kept going on and on and on. So one of her many specialities is that for 30 years, from what we've known of her, she has no desires for the outside world as such, except to dance and make people happy, to share wisdom that will empower people, to cook people food so they remain healthy, and to give love to everyone who needs it. And that's a special quality to have in a human being. And so I'd like to introduce her and have her share with us some words of wisdom tonight.
Hi. But when you wear glasses of seeing specialities, you can see them. So Sister Jenna wears the glasses of seeing specialities. If we're not seeing specialities, then we're seeing the weaknesses in others. I might be here as scared as death, or as nervous as death, and two people look at me. The one who wears glasses, speciality glasses, will say, "What a brave and courageous soul." But the one who doesn't would see, "Oh, her feet are shaking. Oh, this is going on. This is going on," because they're not wearing the glasses of specialities. So you will please put on your glasses of specialities. Everyone got? Hi, Phil. Mr. Jassa, you got? Yeah, okay. So, so the topic today is, how would we be and feel if we could just get along with everyone? Relationships today can be very challenging. It can be a very challenging experience, and also the most blissful fortune. So anyone here is having blissful fortune in their relationships? Put your hands up, please. Acha, beautiful. Okay. You absolute open to everyone, to every soul, absolute beginning to think, wanting to take less, and you can deepen these experiences in relationships through meditation. I didn't pose this question years ago, but I pose them very frequently these days. Why aren't I getting along with me? Has anyone asked that? No. Because what we do, we always do like this. This person is responsible for my feeling like this. This person is like this, so I can't stay in the relationship. Or this person is like that. This is what we do. We are influenced by the outside, but we very seldom go inside and ask, why aren't I getting along with me? And if we sit with that long enough, we'll get the answer. So the last time I did it, I became aware that irrespective of the fact that I have had very, very, very profound experiences of peace and love and purity and bliss and truth, I also find at times when there is a karmic overflow, and most of my karmic overflows, they come from past births. Then when that overflow happens, Sister Jenna might say to me, "Gita, get out of your past." Or I myself am in touch with the fact that this is my past. So if you could just pause a minute, that would be lovely. This indicates traffic control. Om Shanti. And so there are signs when we're not getting along with ourselves. Some of the signs could be we're not able to sit peacefully or sit still or within ourselves, because there's an upheaval going on, and it's because of the karmic stuff touching your pure side. This kind of stuff goes on. There's a conflict. And so, how is it possible for me to get along with you if I am not getting along with me? And so it's always a sign when you're not getting along with someone. What Raj Yoga teaches us is to step inside. Many relationships would last a lot longer if the displeased one would go inside and check, am I doing responsible for this ebb and flow in this relationship? Because it's never just one person. It's always a two-party thing. But do we do that? No. We do, you're like that, you're like that, you're the one that, you do that, you have too much anger, you're that. And so we walk out of that relationship, we get into another relationship. A very short time it will be okay because of the attractive trappings. And then later on, there again, why aren't I getting along with me? So when you go into meditation, ask, how am I getting along with me? How am I feeling? So we know if our well-being is not feeling nice and flowing and peaceful and harmonious, then there's some foreign matter there. One of the 5 algae, the sister called it the algae, anger, lust, greed, attachment, ego, that is rubbing against your natural beautiful qualities, purity, peace, love and bliss. And you use the wisdom, which is the virtuous side of you, to transform the negative side. If I get careless, there are many, many doctors now who will give you an okay, oh, your heart is stronger than mine, or this is no longer there, and yet the suffering continues. It's not necessarily from this birth. Many people are suffering today, not because of this birth, but it's because of the karmic influence of past births. It took me many, many years in yoga to realize this, that what is happening to me is not really something of my present life. It's an overflow of my past. So what to do? What do you do when that happens? When we were in Kauai, there was this beautiful man from the Philippines, and he had a sign, psychic surgery, psychic surgeon. And so I was fascinated. Who is a psychic surgeon? What does he do? And I'm like this, because I wanted to see everything. And before him, this man that had just had an accident in a wheelchair, on a Harley bike, and he was on a wheelchair because he was crippled from here all the way down. And this psychic surgeon claimed that he went inside of his body and took out all of the stuff that was creating his paralysis, or whatever you call it. And what I saw with my own eyes is something like a jerk like this. And then I went up to him because I'm curious. I said, what happened? How did you feel? He said, I haven't been able to move from here down for years. And I felt there was some movement happening from here to here. So I am going to call the guy because I want to know how he does that. Because I think karmic repair is done by the divine, the supreme. So I want to know what it is that he does. My karmic repair, I know, when I'm able to sit still enough and talk to him from my heart and go into a stage called the seed stage. this is able to transform the karmic debt that we are all carrying. So, how am I getting along with myself? Do I respect myself? When I overwork myself, is that love for myself? When I get angry with you, Gita, that is not expressing love for myself. Because I know there's a repercussion to pay when I become angry. Either I can't sleep, or my heart becomes constricted, or I feel horrible. So, checkpoints, whenever you are lashing out at someone, pointing at someone, blaming someone, this great yogi used to sit like this and say, did I do something wrong? What is going on inside of me? She was a friend of Sister Jen, a very powerful yogi, Daddy Ji. She says, if someone is upset, I always sit and ask, what did I do? Was I responsible? Why? This is a person who seriously wants to change. So the other thing we can do, we just go along carelessly with our own ignorance, and nothing is really changed. Because I'm not really checking, I'm not truly checking if I'm responsible for this rift in the relationship. I have had relationships that started, beautiful roses, they come up with beautiful roses, open the jaguar door, sing a song when they come. A you me really love, a you me really love. But that relationship did not last like that. After you get closer and closer, then we tend to take each other for granted. He took me for granted, I also took him for granted. And so the relationship gets, none of us is sustaining the other by seeing the virtues of each one. We start seeing the weaknesses. And because of that, there's relationship breakdown. I keep seeing the weaknesses in the person, but when the courtship started, there was no one as brilliant and beautiful as that person. So it's the same person, so what has happened? Does anyone buy a new house and expect that house to be new and tidy all the time? No. So why do I, resist when I see a weakness in a relationship? And yet, guess what? It's here within me and I'm not checking it. So then our stresses develop. All of these things develop because I'm not checking me. I'm busy checking you. And so I have lost consciousness. I'm ignoring myself. And so I can't move on. I can't change. So when I correct the relationship with me, why aren't you getting along with you? What's inside? Oh, wow. It's nothing. I don't know what it is. It's not from this birth. And some of us really know what birth. There were days Sister Jenna says to me, Sister Gita, get out of your birth as an old lady in a wheelchair. No, it's an expression of love. When you can correct someone and there's no reaction, there is love. So I don't see. Santosh is also like that. If he's corrected, he doesn't react. He might give excuses, but he doesn't react. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you why I do that. Sister Gita is such a beautiful student. She doesn't react to directions. Does she follow or not? That's another story. But I'm only telling you from my personal experience. My own soul keeps calling me to become something that I know I'm supposed to be. It's not what I am today. And if you keep trying to compensate yourself in another person, you waste a lot of time. Because then you can fall in love with somebody, you came into the relationship with a void, the person fills the void temporarily, 10 years later, you both didn't evolve, you're ready to say quits, and then you blame the person for the sorrow that you're feeling when it was really up to me to fix the void in the first place. And so my own soul, my soul, is calling me to balance out my existence. And so if I can find a human being who is in alignment, in wanting to balance themselves, I've found a very good relationship. The thing is, I must come into the relationship with that knowledge. Because if we look at history and statistics throughout time, people have been trying for a long time to last happily ever after. For a long time. And the more powerful you are, the more tested you get. And so this whole journey of life about balancing and finding truth and happiness in my personal journey, and if my journey is to share my life with you, and then with all of humanity, it's huge. It is so big. And I don't know how you are feeling, but I'm living an incredible life. I meet thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I hear thousands of cases. I sleep in a home that is pure and with yogic energy. And I'm having this call for me. And I wonder, what are you feeling? Like, I don't know what you must be feeling. When I have so much around me that is incredibly beautiful, I can't even begin to tell you how incredibly awesome my life is. I just saw a white whale in Kauai last week. How many see a white whale in the Pacific Ocean next to your boat dancing for you? And I know that sounds simple, but I'm breaking it down to how practical life is. Whether you're seeing a white whale or sitting in a room of some of the most beautiful people in the nation's capital, or you're in a little island in the Pacific to about 60,000 people who all migrated because they didn't want to deal with the folks where they were at. So they wanted to move somewhere else where they could just get away from the world. It is something in our souls that we are calling out for. We are, I don't know if calling out is the right word, but in your quiet moments when your iPhones are off or your Androids are off, your phones and your TV and your computers and all your deadlines for work are done, and you go home either alone or with somebody that you don't love, or somebody who's abusing you, or somebody who has not valued you, or you're going home and you're not feeling your value or your worth in a relationship. Or maybe you're going home to love. I don't know. Touché. But there is something in our souls that if you listen quietly, you know you are the only one that can heal your karmic relationship with yourself. You know it with all your heart. No matter how much you come into a relationship and you promise that in this one you're going to give your best, it doesn't mean the other person understands what your best is. So there's an imbalance again. It's an imbalance again. So when Sister Gita was saying, karmic situations, don't define them just as of today, in this specific journey that you're on, but we have absolute proof. We've been here before. Or else we would not be sad, or we'd have moments of sorrow, nor would we worry, nor would we question our capacity to succeed. A new creation in life, sent from God up above, doesn't question their capacity to exist. They are rich and full, complete, and they can look in the face of the jaws of a lion and smile and play with it like it was a baby. That's this law of balance that we're born with. It's all good. I don't know what everyone's quarreling about. What's the problem? And as we go through this sway, this seesaw of emotions and the gives and the takes, and you didn't give me back, but I gave you. Okay, let me give you 10 times more. You still didn't give me back. And I walk with the fact that you didn't pay me back into that poor innocent other relationship. It's a very interesting balance or imbalance of the law of karma. When I asked you to look at the fact that we were born karmically balanced, 100% love means I'm balanced. 100%. 100% purity and peace means I am balanced. I will not come to you and put pressure on you to make sure that I'm happy, because I'm balanced. But I'll come to you because we're supposed to be in companionship. And I wish for us to walk together with the same understanding. Tonight is about this. Tonight is about challenging our understanding of our existence, and at some point waking up and asking my own conscience and heart, at what point are you going to balance your deficit? I know that Antonia's loving the talk. She's into all that money business. But why I'm asking this question to you is, you can see I'm speaking with my own empathy from my own journey. And because we're all in this together, I don't think I'm alone in this. I don't think so. I'm more open to talk about it, but I'm suspecting many of you don't know how to talk about it. And you don't trust the folks in your life to talk about it. And you're not quite sure if their motives are clear, or the solutions that they give you is not from their level rather than from a higher level. So a path of spirituality is a path of understanding and recalling a period in my existence when I was balanced. Remember what it meant to be balanced? 100% is your sheets are balanced. What happened to my 100% happiness and love with me, and with the way me acts with you? I don't tell this to Antonia and anyone here. Maybe sometimes Sister Gita hears me. But she knows I cry when I hear people are just not liking each other. I go, why? Why would you do that? Why would you waste this beautiful existence called life saying, I don't like those people, just because they are struggling with their balance? I can't ever understand that. I've had people who love me, people who are struggling to love me. You get that one? They're struggling to love me, but you know what? Is it about them? Or is it about my capacity to observe if I'm balanced? If I'm balanced. And that's why our inner world thirsts for solutions of the self. But instead of diving into the solution for the self, and I'm telling you, we turn to our distractions. They're temporary relief. They're temporary relief. They're temporary relief. But we can't keep running away from ourselves and our relationships all the time. I was driving today somewhere, and I was thinking about the soul And I'm going to throw this out to you. When you have to make decisions for a long term, they tend to be quite boring and painstaking at times. Have you noticed? College, long-term goals, careers, they tend to take a longer time to develop, but you play it through for a while. But there's something very exciting about temporary relief. When you do what you do because it temporarily fixes the problem. There was a song on the radio because I love music. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. Da da little. Okay, you heard that song? I never heard. That's an interesting song. She said, "What doesn't kill you make you stronger, makes you little wiser," and all of that. And not alone. You know the song, right? Who knows it? Who's a good singer?
Who sings it?
You know. Anyway, so I heard that song and I went, "Wow, that's a powerful song." And then she goes, "Stronger, stronger, just leave something behind." And I went, wow, as I heard that music, you know what I felt like? Getting out of the car and just dancing, like, yeah, that's what it's about, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that was going to give me temporary relief. Because it still doesn't give me the solution. I know it's a simple story I'm telling you, but here's how I would live that song out. What doesn't kill me will make me stronger. So then I asked myself, Jen, what are you thinking, saying, and doing to yourself that's killing you? Fear, doubt, insecurity, trying to please people, all the things that you can have a list for yourself. And if you keep doing them, it won't make you stronger. And so at what point am I going to stand up in my power and balance it out? Do you understand? So I've been sharing with Sister Gita lately that, I'm watching the impressions when we all have impressions in the soul. In Sanskrit, we call it sanskars. And in basic English language, we call it life experiences, sum total. Can you remember that? There's a sum total of my life experiences tucked in my little tiny point of light called soul in English, Atma in Hindi, Ruh in Farsi, and Alma in Spanish. Same thing. Depends on your religious or your language background. It's the same energy in you. And there is a recording of everything you have felt sitting there called sum total of life experiences. And it's in there. And if you stop distracting yourself, guess what's going to come up? Your sum total. Your sum total. And I've been sharing with the community who are now practicing Raj Yogi students. Here we teach you a 7 days course, and then after the 7 days course, you come to the advanced classes, which are every day, 6 o'clock in the morning on the weekdays, and 7 on the weekends. And so the whole journey after that is to look at your sum total. Because your sum total is a combination of love, lost, and love infinite. I want you to think, how do I feel when I walk inside of my own world feeling somewhere in me I've lost love? What are your thoughts like? What are your words like? And what are your choices like? Because love was lost. Please look. Every time you feel that love was lost for you, how did it shape you? And every time you felt love was found for you, how did it shape you? how did that love shape you? You see, relationship means you're giving and taking between you and yourself, God, someone, the nature is balanced. Again, relationship means your giving and taking is balanced. The relationship with the self, the relationship with God, the relationship with another, and the relationship with nature. You give something to nature. If I don't water this plant, what's going to happen? It'll die. If I water the plant and give her some sun and all of that, she will keep giving me oxygen. So a relationship means there is happiness. When you are not having a relationship with yourself or with others, do you know what it's called? Bondage. And when you're in a bondage, there isn't happiness. Can you imagine being in a relationship where you're not feeling secure? Doesn't necessarily mean it's the person's responsibility. It would be nice if they're sensitive to it. I think it's actually a bonus. But I'm trying to emphasize to all of you tonight, and this includes me in the story, it is my duty to fix my holes. It is my responsibility to fix anything within that's not working. And you know what? When you come into your relationships, it's important to be upfront with your partners. You know, this is not working. This particular area is not working. So along the way, you might hear me bump into this or that. We can work it out. We'll work it out together. Just giving you some warning. And I think what this does, it invites your companion to feel relieved. And they can start to give you their best. And they will start to open up and say, you know, in this area, I don't feel 100% either. And then once you know, nobody has to deceive each other in the relationship. So there's an open discussion constantly. For young couples and for middle couples and for mature couples, we are together with each other to grow emotionally, mentally, spiritually for sure, and even economically. You're supposed to be able to know how much to take, how much to give. Why? Because I'm striving for balance. I don't want to use anyone. Because karmically, I'm aware that if I use anyone, I will get used too. So the karmic law of relationship starts off with 100% you come into this with everything in you. And the balance shifts. Some spend, some take, some give, some don't give, some take, and I feel this, don't feel this, you know. And please don't think that you can go back in time and go, oh, that's what I did, so okay, that's enough. It's not enough. Throughout my whole journey, and please tell me if you think I am wrong, every one of your relationships up until today, every relationship that you've had so far, tell me the truth. You think it could work better today if there was a little bit more love and respect in it? So that means from this day onwards, to balance out whatever my deficit might be with my relationship with me, God, you, and nature, what if I started to love and respect everything? Especially when I'm being disrespected and unloved. That's when you know if you have it in you. Not when everyone is respecting and loving you. Sister Gita sees it with me all the time. You know, some folks will just be nasty with you. When we were in Kauai, I was giving an elevated direction. Let's call it that. I won't call it correction. But it was an elevated direction. And before I could even go 30 seconds in the discussion, the driver wanted to tell me, and I'm not saying that with ego, but where she was positioned and how right she was. And I just became quiet because you know what? I need to be in love right now, and you're not ready for it. And it was really very obvious to me. And I go, I can't hold that against the person. Next morning, hi, how are you? What's up? Sister Gita, she was ready to throw her down. No, just kidding. But what I'm saying to you is that, yogis do that too, I don't think they're always saintly. But what I'm saying is that you can't raise your confidence in your return journey to your balance if every time someone's unkind to you, you react to them. There's a karmic law connected to that. So if every time I react to someone who is being toxic with me, at what point am I ever going to balance myself back? So we have to bring that balance back, And this is why in Raj Yoga meditation, we offer this connection to this source of energy, this source of love, this ocean of love. There's got to be one soul that exists that doesn't have an issue. One. Just one. And please let them not be under 6 months old. So there has to be one human being that, well, let me not say human being, let's say one soul that doesn't have inside of their soul a karmic imbalance. Karmic imbalance, again, is the exchange, the giving and the taking. No one knows how much you've actually given to someone, but I can prove this to you. If you start to feel sorrow that you're not getting enough, it means you're supposed to be giving love and respect. And when you're able to give that love and respect, they could be not even saying good morning to you. It's fine. Go on. It's all good for me. I'm speaking this as a proof. I had one sister, she used to stay with me, rough looking sometimes, morning. That's how she would say it. I tell you about her all the time. And one morning she didn't want to tell me good morning. So I said, okay, all right, that's good. So in the evening she comes to my room to say good night. And I didn't hold any grudges because I'm a morning person. I was born in the morning too. And so she came into the room and I looked at her as I would look at my own self and say, you know what? We might end up living together for a long time. Don't you think it's to our advantage to just be pleasant? All I'm going to ask you to do, no other rule here, say good morning. That's it. Do you know she has not missed one morning of saying good morning? And I'll tell you, if none of the day is good, it's good at that moment. You can't tell someone, good morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and miserable. It's not going to feel right for you. But to just say it, good morning, for that millimeter of a second, you know what? Life is good for you. And it starts on a good note. I'm trying to balance out my karmic accounts with people. And I've realized it's not about me giving you money or giving you this. It helps. But it's about giving you respect and love. I'm balancing what I owe you. I guarantee it, you go back in all your lives and all your relationships that are not working or are strained. What do you see that would have fixed it?
I think there's like this dichotomy. Relationship. And all I'm asking, and I'm going to say real quick, is this. How do we, in this particular linear society, in this particular society of America that is so materialistic and so much the antithesis of spiritual, how do we then find that balance between what you have to do to be selfless to love, then what you have to do to be sort of loving of yourself in order to protect yourself to love, and from the way that this society denigrates love.
Thank you, sir. For one, I think this country is incredible. And the people living in the country, they are incredible, and I'll explain why. And I've said this in many lectures before. The population of humanity was only 1.4 billion people in 1901. 1901, the population was 1.4 billion human beings. In the last 100 years, shy and more, rather, 6 billion souls have entered the planet to play out their part. They are supposed to be individualistic. They're supposed to be liberated, free to do whatever they want to do. It's what's called they are living in their golden age, their paradise. And I'll clarify that before we close off, because it's so important to know the beginning, the middle, and the end of complete history in order to not blame, but rather to really accept all cultures are so accurately playing out who they're supposed to be. If you go to India, you know, you sit there and half of the population sits and chills. And when second generation of us go back there, we go, when are you guys going to get active? We think it's an imbalance. They think it's living by the laws of nature. But what I'm trying to say is, when you first come down from above, we all came down from above. Do you agree? Do you agree you came from somewhere up there and then you go back there somewhere? Does anyone has issues? You think you came from the soil and go back to the soil, or was some energy put in your body? Yes, there's some energies in your body, right? You call it soul. So that energy leaves the body and goes somewhere. So originally it came from the land of silence, the soul world. Buddhists call the place nirvana. Muslims call it Bahisht. Christians call it heaven. Hindus call it Paramdam. Same place. Scientists say they've been trying to explore the sixth element of light. I want you all to think we all came from there. It was absolutely silent and peaceful and pure. That is our essence as a soul. And my brother, when we came here, we weren't clingy people. We didn't have to cling to anybody. We had in the soul's energy balance. And if you ever watch a society of people who feel that they're balanced and they're masters, there's nobody hanging on anybody. Everyone carries their own space and their own story. And they walk together with that sense of sovereignty, not with an imbalance, but with a knowing. You're in charge, I'm in charge, and we are totally aware of the systems of life, so we move along accordingly. You ever watch the animal kingdom? Very rare, except for monkeys, but very rare, you see horses clinging, giraffes clinging. Cows don't cling. Birds aren't clinging with each other. And the only time you see the animal kingdom coming together is when they got to procreate, because it's the law of nature. But we become a very clinging society because we don't know how to think on our own or to master ourselves, and we don't have the strength to govern our lives. So collectivity at this time is really important because we all need each other's support. And I suspect our culture in this nation, and that's why you hear all of this conversation, brothers like yourself, there's an emergence of a need to be together, and that's what social media is doing. Even though there's a veil, but people are connecting. People are much physically happier than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. There was a survey done. 80% of the folks, 78% of folks are saying they're happier than they were 10 years ago. And I suspect it's because people are more interconnected with each other. And they love that. But at the tail end of that interconnectedness, if you're truthfully not connected to self and God, you're still afraid. And so whether you are living in this land, or in Zimbabwe, or in India, or in Europe, or in China, I guarantee you, you're going to find a civilization of everybody who's trying to survive on their own. It's just that we here, we're not used to that ancient legacy like older cultures are. The Middle East, India, Africa, where things have always been very tribal, very important, and very hierarchical. We are a newer species of souls on the earth, so we come with a different perception of life. And if we can understand that, we can accept. We can accept that's what it is. For souls that are older, they will find you. They will find places like this. They know that there's something within that has to be balanced and filled up. And they will embrace their brothers who are saying, I'm not into all that. You know? And they will understand where they're at. Completely. And so this is where this whole karmic law of understanding the energy of spirit and soul, human nature, is so vital. But in closing, here's what we must do as of tonight. Okay? Aim to balance out yourself personally. You don't have to make an announcement on the memorial bridge and tell everyone. That's private. My life's purpose, the purpose of my living existence, is that if I don't balance myself out, I'm going to be at the whims of everyone else. Everyone. My duty to balance myself out means 100% love, 100% respect, And don't think it's impossible. We've been dreaming of things since we were born. We can dream this too. You must believe in human perfection. If you do not, you will never make effort to attain it. Human perfection is a balanced soul. Remember my definition of balance, 100%, okay? So now you've got that aim. Second step, let me check myself to see if I'm being premature in my analysis of how much I think I'm giving to you or taking from you. Don't count what you're doing for anyone. You know what? If your heart's not in it, just don't do it. Why are you trying to set yourself up for disappointment? Somebody asked someone to bring some stuff the other day, and the person on the phone is telling me, oh, well, so-and-so asked me for this and that and this and that. And they made it sound like it was like asking to bring the Rock of Gibraltar. And I said, you know what, don't do it. What's the problem? If your heart's not in it, don't do it. And so she felt bad that I said that to her. And she was saying, that's not what I mean, I'm just telling you. And I'm like, when am I ever going to be able to get through to this one? You know, it's like, okay, maybe for another time, pending assignment. Don't do anything your heart doesn't feel like doing. And if you ever do anything with expectation, complete imbalance. Complete imbalance. It's just going to support your deficit. It's a setup. It's a setup. Don't do it. Don't. Unnecessary. Just don't. Third thing, if you are on your own, good, take this time to figure out your perfection, your balance. Begin to observe how you're dealing with folks at work, friends. Check if you're really investing in the distraction more than the reality. To tell you the truth, what I'm learning, as I look at myself as I am, it's okay if what I see I don't like, but I trust it's going to pass. Can't stay with me forever. It's the law. So you know what? Let me just see it. Show me what you've got. It just gets easier. If you're in a relationship that's really old, and you guys have been through hell and back and you're still together, find a good time, make a nice meal together, and sit and goes, I went to this interesting discussion at the museum. I gotta tell you about it. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on inside me, hon. You've been my world, but I don't want to cheat you. I want to understand myself, and I want to understand you, and I want to grow with you more. And if your husband or your wife looks at you and go, what are you talking about? Do not lose it. Do not lose it. Look at them with love and respect, knowing that the way to pay back any karmic debt, love and respect will never lose, because you will still feel good at the end. If it's a new relationship, you put that relationship in the right footing from now. You both talk openly. Wow. In a few years, you know, we want to plan this, we want to plan that. I want to grow with you. I want to understand life. Both of us. What is this thing called love, heart? And when you're feeling a little bit upset or frustrated with each other, that's what I loved about the folks in Kauai. They were so honest with each other. There was one couple and she'd be like, I'm really not feeling great right now. And I thought that was really endearing. And he looked at her and you could see how much love he had for her. I'm sorry that you're feeling that. Because the moment you call your partner on your issues, there's no more fight, really. You're calling your partner on your issues. What are they going to do with you? Other than have to embrace you. See, the blame game creates a lot of defense mechanisms, and you kind of walk away from love when you blame too long, you know? So, with this said, I've talked long enough now. Supposed to finish at 7:30, sorry. I speak to you as a yogi soul of many years, having her own desire for her own soul to find her absolute perfection. Keep in mind, and I am living a life where I'm not going through broken hearts, insecurities, fear in what someone's going to do or say to me or not do to me, how someone's going to treat me or not treat me. Am I making myself open enough for this person to love me or this person? I don't even know what that is. But my soul still needs balance. So you can't tell me you don't too. Do you know? So listen to your inner longing of your spirit. And even when you turn in, if you can't understand what you're trying to say to yourself or where you're at, just sit with yourself and start with where you're at. And tell yourself, I don't know what's going on inside of you, but I'm here. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where to go with this. But I do know I don't feel 100% contented. And just that honesty with the self, you've just started to balance out your karmic relationship. Okay? And try to be around your fans, positive folks, because trust me, you don't have to look for negative ones. Dime a dozen. They're even on the highways. When you accidentally cross over and you didn't see them. You know, they're on the metro. They're in the cubicle next to you at work. They're on customer service. When you call, don't you love those machines? Where are the living people? I mean, have we gotten that bad that we can't talk to each other anymore? You got to talk to a computer to get a human being and then repeat what you told the computer as if it's testing you. Are you balanced? It's a funny thing. It's fantastic if you can just walk into it, move into it. You know? Work on yourselves. Work on your lives. In Hindi, there's a saying called swabhav. Bhav means feelings of your own self. It's kind of like sitting down and listening to a really nice love song and it's just all about you. And you're not even thinking about anyone. You're just like, wow, that just feels so good. Swabhav. If you can live in your own spirit and be happy, it's called swaman. It means you have self-respect. Your respect is not determined by your roles or your titles. It's by your self-worth that you carry for you. And then you become declared Swaraj. Swaraja. Look at her, look at him. He's like a royal king. He moves with grace, she moves with elegance. She wants nothing, he wants nothing. Look at the both of them. Because they have Swambhav, they have Swaman, and it makes them Swaraja, kingly in the way that they live their lives. This is the effort. We've got to care more for the world inside to feel freedom. Okay? So, Neil.
Just regarding other people,
Remember, karmic debt to be balanced out requires love and respect. Once you're in that space within yourself, then I don't think you'll struggle to do anything for anyone. Because you're serving yourself from that place of love and respect within you. Okay? In absence of love and respect, you will feel like you're being forced to do something. You ever had someone corner you? And you have no choice but you have to do it for them? How do you feel? Taken advantage of, right? They cornered you and they knew they shouldn't have waited to the last moment and this and this and that. And what I have done when I'm in that position, and I go, I really don't appreciate feeling cornered. I don't. You had this debt owed for 4 years, and now you're coming to me when they're about to come and lock you up, and now you know I'm going to rescue you, but you shouldn't have waited that long, because if I don't rescue you, you're going to let me look bad, aren't you? I don't appreciate it. That's not fair to me. Let's see what we can do. That's fine. When you speak from that context of your truth and your honesty, but you still care. Or you're not going to, that's why you're helping them. Then there's a second kind where you feel powerless because you're afraid of the relationship. So you do it with force. That's not a good one. Because there's going to be a lot of hidden expectations and a lot of mixed feelings. And that's why when I was sharing with you about incorporating love and respect, that's really the crucial anchor for you. So even if you come to me for something and I have it, does it make sense? It's in me. I'm mobilizing that within me anyway. And I'll tell you, there's a mystery connected to this. When your soul is investing in accumulating the energy of your balance, which is love and respect, destiny will take care of you. You don't ever have to think anyone's taking advantage of you. Your accumulation of love and respect is your protection in the soul. That very rarely anyone will even try to take advantage of you. Their conscience would see, I can't. It'll be a subtle mechanism that will take place. I know some folks who try to play me. Is that what they call it? And I know it. And Sister Gita will say, Sister Jenna. And I go, it's okay. I got it to give. No problem. You ready to serve America? Peace all over it. Ready? Go inwards. Emerge all the love you can. And send it to everyone in the country. Everyone. Everyone. So, Neil, there are times that I do things I don't like to do, but I do tell the person, just so there's no confusion in the relationship. I don't like complicated relationships. I find them to be very taxing. When the other person I think is supposed to know what I want and they really don't know what I want, then I am supposed to give them something that I think they want, but they don't really want it, and I don't know, it's just complex, and complexity means powerlessness. You know, if you've just got too much stuff going on, there's no power. If you're clear, there's power. It's just power when you're clear. I believe in clarity with the self, clarity in your relationship with God, and clarity with human beings. If you can live that law, you're going to be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be always smooth, but you will be at ease and you won't feel that you deceived anyone, nor will you feel you deceived yourself. Okay? So my fellow brothers and sisters of the heart, most beautiful people of the world and of this time, we must wake up. And we can't accept sorrow, defeat as our story anymore. And to feel that we're a victim from anyone. We can't. And please stop blaming people. Because they're not balanced. I'm not balanced. I wish they'd be nicer, no doubt. It would make my life feel easier. But I'm here to fix the self. And so my silent relationship with God is calling me to listen to my heart and to my sum total of a story and work out my deficits. So with that, I pause and I wish you a big, big Om Shanti and Aloha. I love that Aloha spirit. And have a lovely night tonight. Take one thing from tonight, one little thing, and think about it. And stay quiet this evening, reflective, introspective, until you feel a big smile coming over your faces. I got it. Did you hear about that Buddhist monk that was training at the monastery? Did you hear about the story? True story. So this little Buddhist monk, he went to the master and he was struggling with meditation. And he says, Master, I'm having difficulty with this meditation bit. So he says, come back in 2 weeks, no worries, it'll pass. So the Buddhist little monk comes back 2 weeks later and he goes, Master, I'm not working. The master says, what did you do? Acha, don't worry, it'll pass. Come back in another week. He tries, he goes home, he tries it again. He comes back now more frustrated than ever before. He goes, Master, it's not. I tried everything you told me to do. It's not working. I might give up this thing. I don't think Buddhism is for me. The master says, you know what? It'll pass. Come back tomorrow. If I come back tomorrow and I don't have a meditation experience, I'm not coming back. Master says, okay, deal. The little monk comes back. Guess what happens? He actually did it. He had one of the most profound meditation experiences, and he went up to the master and lost all of his diplomacy. But the master hugged him. I did it. I got it. And the master says, good. This too will pass. It's just life. It's just like that. It's just going. Learn to let go of what you're not supposed to be holding on to, and learn to hold on to what you're supposed to be holding on to. Let go of sorrow, being victimized, hurt. Let go of expecting somebody to come and say sorry. Let go of it. Waste of life. Waste. Let go of those unfulfilled attachments. Do not wait for them to come and tell you they were wrong. Waste. Hold on to your abilities to become so balanced for you. Hold on to your ability to be a powerful instrument for humanity, that your strength of character uplifts somebody who feels hopeless. Hold on to those things. You will feel like your life has purpose. Because that too will pass. Right? Right? But hold on to what you're supposed to hold on to. And let go of what you're not supposed to be holding on to. All right, let's have a little meditation, and we have blessing cards that we will bestow. Is there an announcement, Sister Antonia? At 10? Okay. Okay, the women's program. Okay. Okay. For educators. So please check our website out and all the wonderful, wonderful activities. How many of you have downloaded our free app designed by a 12-year-old? Pause for peace. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause for peace. Pause for peace. Thank you. See, they were going to charge us like 6,000. We go, we don't even charge for our program, so we're going to get that. And Santosh and one of our little young 12-year-olds put it together. Good.
I listen to it every morning.
Oh, yeah. I would listen to it at nights, too. I love it. And by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel and live stream. Antonia and I did a little meeting today. The YouTube channel has amazing videos and stuff that we've been doing here. The live stream has some really nice sessions. And I think Facebook, I might be the only one that doesn't have a Facebook account right now. Good, yes, Fee. You know, welcome to the club. And so why I'm asking you to do this, I was told that when there's a conversation like this stimulating in the culture through these viral things, like it's a good thing. This nobody cares about anymore, one-to-one. But I don't want to let this go. This is what's the real deal as far as I'm concerned. However, for the other 6 billion, for the other 6 billion who are like not into this real personal clinging stuff, I think we have to serve them too. So get on those things and pass out those things. You know, we're really not very good at all those, letting it go out there, but we're doing good. Means all the folks that are with us are really sincerely with us, and we love that. So do keep up on all of that.
The mindful teaching class is actually on Saturday. I just stated.
Okay. Mindful teaching is on Saturday. Okay. And that's about educators and teachers and how, you know, they move through the whole system of, you know, their ability to teach. We do have a spirituality and growing session, which we do in the McLean Ashram in Virginia. Yeah. All right. So let's have some meditation. Ready? Good. Sit up straight and backs erect to the table. And you'll play one of the songs, yeah? Bliss's This Love would be nice, yeah? Okay. Thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight in such a wonderful evening. Sky was beautiful, no rain, it's hot outside. It's all a mental state of mind, isn't it? Did you see that sunset? Did you see the rainbow today? There is a rainbow today. It's gorgeous. So, all right, let us embrace ourselves tonight. And remember, the aim is what? 100% love and respect and peace for ourselves. And then the rest afterwards. So just fall into the music in the moment and enjoy your silent time now. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for coming. Hope to see you again soon. Om Shanti.